Isaac's still the youngest driver to have won a senior competition in British motorsport. 5 lights on. Out go the lights, and we are away, and it's Jordan Brennan looking to make the most of that inside line as they go down into turn 1 for the first time. And it's Brennan that leads them. Great start by Brennan. Dave Marshall in the mix as well. As ever, a little bit of a kerfuffle as they go through bridges for the first time, down towards the Montreal hairpin, as 'twas known, now known of course as Wilson. But Brennan made a decent start, relatively clean there, Jiggy.
It was, he just managed to get his nose ahead. I saw Dave Marshall there have a big slide through turn 1, which for Mike and Jordan was nice because it gave them that little bit of breathing space to take a line that's not quite as slow as you might normally have to do. When that pack's right behind you, you do have to cover quite a lot, certainly into the first hairpin, to avoid getting smashed up. But equally, you've got to be careful not to let the ball come streaming around the outside.
Quite a few overtaking positions on there on this track as well, which is the big bonus for me as a spectator stroke commentator.
Yeah, I'm not sure there's anywhere that I'd rule out actually as a passing place. You can set something up 2, 3, 4 corners before, and even coming into this corner out to the back straight, that if you get it just right, really good exit from Oggies, you can get your nose at the inside, although that can then hamper you down the straight. You see cars weaving around trying to keep guys behind them.
Brennan leads them down the Bentley straight and into the Brundle-Nelson complex. Mike Epps looking poised here, thinks about having a look down the inside line, a bit too far back maybe. They're going to come out. Nelson head down in towards the bomb hole, 2 or 3 wide there. We've got a car across grass losing out just a little bit. I think that might be Rob Butler who drops down on the target. Oh, it's Max Coates in fact who drops down to 9th place. Rob Butler goes back in front of him. So it's Brennan from Epps. A little bit of a gap to Dave Marshall. We're starting to see Dave Marshall, whereas last year he would sort of run away with things, this year seems to find the grooves. The race goes on and will work its way back into the mix. Max Edmondson 4th, Isaac Smith 5th from Dan Zelos. So Zelos has had a good run up from 8th, a couple of positions made on the first lap. So it's Brennan out front from Epps at the minute, little side by side going on a little bit further back. Some more social media coming through. Josh Bailey, hi Josh, good to have the Ginetta Challenge champion watching us today, saying go on Epps. And Dan Gower says Alfie Glennie have a go for it as well. Alfie up into 22nd place at the moment, chasing Damien Hill. Had some setup issues, did Damien, for the preparation for this one. But Brennan, Epps and Marshall the top 3 at the minute. A couple of guys just running a little bit on the wide side there as we focus on Max Coates in the number 11. Robbie Stapleford is down behind him. Robbie, of course, was at the Ginetta Scholarship, which I've mentioned before. Was he one of the drivers that you took out, Jiggy?
Oh, it's all a blur, Richard. So many people that had never driven a car before coming along. It's a fantastic scholarship, of course.
60-odd youngsters that were there, yeah, it'd be difficult to remember.
It was. Some people had never used the clutch before either. So it's an eventful scholarship, but really good, really good event.
It's for all abilities, isn't it? Yeah, you can have people just getting it as a present to come out for the day and have the experience of the sadist on the fitness, Richard Chessman, or going out with you guys and get some real experience. You know, to drive a car like that for the first time, it's a super thing to do.
Yeah, that's right, and the ability to take it into account as well. You don't have to be necessarily the best, fastest driver to win that, and that championship's a great one to feed into this one. Actually, in fact, I'm coaching a driver, Frankie Taylor, right now in my old Mini, and he races the Ginetta Junior, so it's a good place to learn your craft. Interestingly, Mike Epps here, he's keeping his powder dry. He's bang on with his lines. Jordan Brennan, he's a bit offline in a few places. He looks like he's pushing hard. I think Mike's keeping his powder dry here. He's just trying to get a gap away from the main field. And it's not unusual to try to do that, not fight too much now, get away, and then you can fight for it, knowing you're not going to get demolished by the rest of the field behind.
Jordan, a champion in, I think, another, I saw, obviously there are so many sim championships, but I'm pretty sure has won sim championships before. And another driver like Cy Haraway, no through time in Legends paddock, his dad, Mikey, helping out Dave Newsham, another touring car driver, moved up the ranks, of course, from Legends cars. Scottish Legends originally, National Legends, then Clio Cup champion into touring cars, and of course the Norscott car won a race here at Snetterton in BTCC, which you remember well. But Jordan part of that setup, great to see him have the chance to come mini racing at some point. And yeah, as you say, under a bit of pressure from Mike Epps, there is Josh Martin in the number 9, Max Coates right behind him, then Matt Richards, Robbie Stapleford, Ryan Elliott 13th from Luke Kidsley. Top 12 we have to look at as we get closer towards the end of the race. Robbie Stapleford on potentially for the reverse grid pole at the moment, and he would have Matt Richards for company alongside him if things were to stay the way they are at the moment. Timing wise, I think the fastest lap is going to be, we've got a 2 minutes 974.91, 2 minutes 7. Dave Marshall looks quickest at the moment on the timing screens as we ride along with Josh Martin very briefly. Leaders going through the Brundle Nelson complex, heading down towards Bob Hole. Brennan, actually, we know that he's very good at soaking up pressure. He's a good attacking, hard charging driver because his qualifying in the previous rounds has been good, but not as strong as it was today. And when he doesn't qualify as strong, he does have the ability to get in the mix and get up and fight for position.
Yeah, he seems to be right on it, actually. He is soaking up the pressure well. Mike, seasoned racer, whether it's real world, sim world, so I know that he's going to be cool and calm. I've watched him many times, raced with him many times on the sims, actually, never in real life. But Jordan's impressing me here, and some drivers just gel with a particular track. It may be that Jordan is just on it, and this one he's got it all sewn up, and that again helps your mental state. You know you've got it within your gift, if you like, to do the business, to win it, and it's quite impressive.
Max Coates lighting up the track. You can see his lighting is a little bit better than it was last week, and we were joking about sending candles onto him, but he didn't have any scent or any scented candles to explore the joke. We were going to call him Candles Coates as a nickname and say that he lights up the track, but maybe he's in 10th place at the moment, chasing down Josh Martin still. Max working hard as ever he does at whatever he's doing, whether it's the background stuff or on track, works so hard. And Matt Richards giving him a bit of a workout there in the blue car, trying to hunt him down and see if he can find the way past. You're looking at the timing screens, have a look down the other end. I think Robbie Stapleford a little bit off colour today, down in 14th place. That's disappointing for him, but again, it's so close, this championship. So many great drivers that are all everybody, I think, in this championship capable of top 10. So many drivers capable of getting on the podium and taking the wins too.
That's right, small margins, isn't it? I think you gave Stapleford the kiss of death just after you mentioned he was doing well earlier. I think I saw him bouncing over the grass, so it's typical, really. I like this camera angle. We need this in real life in the mini challenge.
Yeah, we started to get the onboards back, didn't we, towards the end of last year in the British Touring Car Championship. Hopefully we'll have more in the other championships that grace the package. That would be good. That is a super shot with the Norscott logo, Dave Newsham's long-term sponsors. Dave Newsham, I think, with Callum Newsham, doing the VRC Touring Car Championship. Let's give a little plug out for VRC custom build rigs. So if you do need a setup, or you're thinking about getting a setup, as Epps is having a look for the lead, just as we try and get a plug in, Epps decides to have a look down the inside line, makes the pass and goes through into the position. And Jordan Brennan now is coming under attack from Dave Marshall, who's having a look at the outside line as they come into the Wilson hairpin, and he's done that around the outside significantly. That will tuck into the inside line as they come down into Palmer corner, the left-hander. Great move.
Yeah, I have a feeling that Epps and Marshall now are just going to start to creep away. They've decided now is the time. Mike wouldn't have done that on a whim, and you can see there are some significant gaps opening up behind now. So I think we might just see a two-horse race now.
They could well get away with this, but Jordan Brennan won't want to be left, and he'll give it his all to try and close back down. But we know that he's a very capable sim racer. Is Jordan still on for the podium? But the two teammates out front, Epps, the real world racer, Dave Marshall, the Simster. Oh, and a little tap on the back end there. I'm sure inadvertent, but Marshall has some bad luck again through contact, drops down. Edmondson, as a result, has nipped through into second position. Marshall down in third place, and this leaves Mike Epps clear at the end of 4 laps, very nearly at half distance in this opening race of the weekend. That was accidental, but unfortunate, and might wind up with Andy Ringland at heart.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, there was clearly, I don't think, any intent there, but there definitely was fault. So that sort of move or mistake is one that can see you getting a penalty. But Mike now, I think he's broken the toe, and this could now just be a case of keeping it tidy. But there is a long way to go. There is a very long way to go, and it only takes one mistake round here to get a bad run onto, let's say, this start-finish straight, and someone could catch you up by 0.3 in an instant.
Yeah, it could all still change, couldn't it? So Epps is out front. I was going to just give a little shout out, if you are, this is maybe lighting a bit of passion and you want to have a go at this, then you can do a lot worse than get a VRRT custom build rig. And superb setup, which many of these drivers have done to get themselves going, but it's not just for people in competition. As Coates gets involved there, Josh Martin in 9th position moves up. We've got some support from Liam Lambert coming through on our social media feed from K20AA. So well done that. Hashtag mini challenge eSeries if you want to drop a note and support your favourite driver, and let us know also who you think is going to be driving the race in this one. But it's Epps still out front at the moment. Max Coates working hard now, back ahead of Josh Martin, and you can see Matt Richards down behind as well. Ryan Elliott is on for 12th place, which is provisional pole ahead of Robert Statement, and Luke Kinsley 14th has dropped back from his starting position. Luca driver very capable of taking a win in the reverse grid. And our inset now is Damien Hall, our Death in Paradise man. We'll watch the two-parter that was on this week. It was pretty good couple of episodes we had with lockdown, unfortunately getting sucked into more and more TV. But if you wonder why we call him our Death in Paradise man, he's the Copper Piston, a Bajan police officer based in Barbados, obviously, and a great character, sim racer, 19th place. He'd be disappointed with that after his points scoring last weekend.
Echoing your comments, Richard, about getting involved in sim racing, if anyone out there wants to do some real-world racing, Mini Challenge is a really good place to start. There's a ladder. You can start on something like the Coopers, which are, I'm going to say, relatively cheap. Motorsport is not cheap, but it doesn't have to be massively expensive. And you can work your way up to things like these JCWs, which are fantastic fun. And I really enjoyed my time in these minis, and I'd recommend it to anybody that is thinking of having a go.
And it's a competitive championship. I mean, taking a title, as you did, as Nathan Harrison did as well, it is hard earned, because they are, it really attracts serious, talented drivers, doesn't it?
That's right. No championship is easy to win, unless you're in a championship of one in your class, of course. But this one make stuff is exceptionally hard, and you have to get everything right. In my view, you win championships on your bad days, learning how to deal with problems, minimising your points losses when something has gone wrong is key to putting it all together. As I found out, the championships come down to just a couple of points sometimes, and when you're scoring multiple hundreds, it means you've just got to be on the top of your game.
Yeah, it's a good summary. Winning a championship on your bad day is a really good quote. And do you know what? That's actually a good one for you when you get youngsters who have a bad race and their heads drop. That's a good thing to be able to tell them. I'm sure coaches do tell them that. Gemma Lambert says, "Go on, Lambert, get up there." So this would be the home track, wouldn't it, for Mr. Lambert? Not sure if the Coopers are going to get a chance to race here for real this year. I need to go and check up on the schedules that we've got. There's Robbie Stapleford, as we said.
K20AA says Liam Lambert smoked the pink cigar. I have no idea what that is. Do you know, Richard?
I've no idea. I hope it's not inappropriate.
Me too.
He's got some online support watching, which is really, really good. So Liam running in 17th at the moment, not far away from those maiden championship points for this year, as is Tom O'Farrell looking to score points, the Holiday Homes Isla driver, having a good run here. O'Farrell's best result so far, 18th. He's running in 16th place, so looking stronger as it goes on. We're on board for having a look. We're not on board, we're having a look at Ryan Elliott. Now, do you know, Jiggy, where the term Billy comes from in terms of track days and coaching?
I do. It's Cockney Rhyming Slam, Billy Bunter. I don't like the term, because most people, as you pointed out, don't know what it means, and therefore they're using it as, I don't want to say derogatory, but it's not a nice term to be used. So I tend to tell people off when they use that one.
Yeah, this came down last week. It's funny, do you know, it's really weird, because I've asked about this in the past. Does anyone know what it meant? Nobody knew, and then obviously Mike actually knew what it meant as well, which is great. But yeah, so rhyming. So it's nice to have that cleared up. But yeah, I agree.
We're the pros, you see, Richard. We have to know these things.
It's I agree. He's a bit of a derogatory term. So we'll call Ryan Elliott Ride Dog, as Robbie Stapleford has a little nibble away at the inside line. Is that Richard Branson in the Dunlop Blue? I suppose he'd have the Virgin Blue. Actually met Branson once at the Blue Festival at Brands Hatch. Absolutely enthralled by racing he was. Really enjoyed it. And
interesting in Edmondson, catching up ever so slightly. He's taken a 10.5 out of Mike in the last 30 seconds. Well, he seems to have pulled it back out again now, but he does have a decent gap. It could fall apart very quickly there.
Yeah, Max had his first win, Max Edmondson, in the reverse grid race at Alton Park. He's always got the outright pace. He was on the podium at Brands Hatch from the reverse grid, and really sort of stepping up as the season goes on. Strong qualifier, ninth at Brands Hatch, the opening race of the year. Second at Donington Park, fourth. So fifth today. So he's always been in the top six in qualifying. As you say, he's got the pace, trying to hunt down Mike Epps. Dave Marshall here, not doing as well as we might have thought on the recovery, trying to close down from him. Jordan Brennan still in fourth. Isaac Smith in a quiet fifth position, but nonetheless picking up points. And then Dan Zelos, this would be a home match, wouldn't it, with Dan Zelos as well?
Yeah, Dan's done he's done quite well, I think. Come on a lot from last year. Very quick, of course, in the JCW Championship in real life too. So I thought he'd run Nathan closer last year. Because his qualifying pace was excellent and didn't quite come to fruition. I don't know if is he racing again? Has he confirmed that he's doing this year yet?
He hasn't made the announcement yet, but we're hopeful that he's going to be doing it soon.
Yeah, he's definitely he'd be one of my tips for the win, actually, if he is doing it again.
Rebecca Dawson's getting cross wires with what we're saying about the Billy Elliott nickname. So Ryan Elliott's, one of his nicknames is Billy Elliott, as in the film and play and whatever. But Rebecca, what we were saying about was the origin of the term Billy as used by track day instructors, not for him, but for general people, and it's Billy Bunt and Punter, so the people that might be paying the money. So that's where that comes down. So
he's Billy every day of the week, then, isn't he now?
He is, yeah. To hopefully clear that up, Epps is still the leader. Max Edmondson in P2. Luke Hitsley in 13, trying to get up with Robbie Stapleford and get back to where he qualified in 12th place. Ryan Elliott 14, Jack Davidson down behind him. It's a very quick part. When you think about Jack Davidson down in 15th place, fighting for a solitary point at the moment, it just goes to show how competitive it is. Liam Ladd 17th, Andy Dorman manages to make up the position, goes up into 16th ahead of him. Those guys squabbling over the last championship point. There is an extra point as well for fastest lap. So Epps, incidentally, of course, will have an additional point for qualifying, and he'll extend the championship lead. Second in the real world class at the moment is Max Edmondson. So Epps and Edmondson, the two E's, battling it out also for the overall, the real world drivers championship. Of course, a rig setup is the prize for that, which they are working for. 1 minute 56 on the clock, so time to start looking at provisional pole for race 2. Robbie Stapleford, I think, is the guy who may well get that. That could be a big bonus to get Robbie back on track. His last couple of races, 19th and 8th place, had 4 runs in the top 10 on the start of the season, so he needs to get things back on track. He might well be able to do that with the reverse grid, Jiggy.
Yeah, he's been hovering around that area for some time and fighting with Billy and Luke Kidsley there, so he might be able to hold on. It's always tough in the middle. These positions for reverse grid pole, they can swap around because people know the significance of them, of course. So you do see the odd lunge, and even if someone lunges to make that position and makes a mistake, if you're the car in front, you've still lost it. If you're off the track, it's not going to happen. But right now, I can't see Mike Epps losing this. He's just pulling away. He's cool as a cucumber out there.
Yeah, he's away. Wants another interview, doesn't he? He's hopefully got his winner's speech ready in his back pocket. This is the battle for second place, and the machine marshal has closed in on Max Edmondson. Jordan Brennan not that far away as well, but Dave Marshall giving us a really good onboard ride there of getting so close, carrying in the 1010s car the second position machine. Donna Howe says that she'd love to see Mike Epps back in a real world race series. We would too.
Yeah.
Talented guy. And so many drivers, of course, thwarted by budget. As looking around the outside line as they go into Brundle was Dave Marshall. I don't think that was ever going to be on, but that was very much carrying the second baseman, Max Edmonton. Epps still out front, watching the second base battle there, which is heading through Bombhole down towards Coram. And Marshall fighting hard. The clock is down now, so there's going to be one more lap to go when they cross the line. I've got a feeling that Max Edmonton would be quite happy to see the checker at the end of this little run.
I expect so. We saw also, I don't know if you saw it there, but Dan Zelos and McIntyre were side by side going into Brundle, so they're fighting very, very hard. I must say, Dave Marshall, he ran away with it, really, in my view, last year. He clearly hasn't got any slower, but I think it just shows what the level has done over the off season. Everyone's got so much faster, and it's so competitive now.
He's got him down the inside line. A little tap from Max Edmonton. Jordan Brennan coming back as well. So it's a 10-10 to 1-2 at the moment. Mike Epps from Dave Marshall. The hard work for Marshall paid off, slipping through on the inside line at the hairpin. Max Edmonton third. Jordan Brennan in close proximity now for third. Here he's actually that big lead that you described, and this is his now very much. Got a note to go on Mike Epps from Harry Yardley-Rose. Good to see Harry out in GT Cup. Last year, I was commentating on the Donington Park, wasn't it? We did the round there. Looking forward to commentating on GT Cup again. Just the one round for me this year. Mark Werrell's going to be able to be looking after it for you on the live streams. But I'll be with you at Alton Park. Mark is tied up elsewhere. But I'm really looking forward to Alton Park that weekend. As Dan Zelos still in the mix there, Jack McIntyre right behind him. That's the battle for 6th place. And McIntyre piling the pressure on here.
He is, yes. They've been like this now for must be 2 or 3 laps, I think. And Zelos not covering as much as I thought he might do. That's probably going to bite him in the backside right here.
Yeah, maybe not. Here they come then. So Dan Zelos is on the outside line, holds on to it for the inside as they go through Nelson and Jack Mack. Up ahead of, just so you can see on the inset, having a good look. It's going to be a little bit nearer the front because provisional pole at the moment still with Robbie Stapleford. Zelos still under pressure. These guys on the last few corners. It's Mike Epps out front who has taken the checkered flag. Mike Epps' second win, responding to my point that he'd only had one win thus far. Dave Marshall will take second position from Max Edmonton, and then Jordan Brennan in 4th place. Jack McIntyre busy chasing Dan Zelos. Zelos finishing 6th, immediately behind Isaac Smith. McIntyre 7th,